This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana makes car selling fast and easy from start to finish. Enter your license plate or VIN and get a real offer in seconds, down to the penny. If you accept, Carvana will come pick up your car from your driveway. Or you can drop it off at one of our car vending machines. Either way, you get paid instantly. It's fast, transparent, and 100% online. Car selling that saves your time. That's Carvana.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
This is a real good story about Bronx and his dad, Ryan, real United Airlines customers.
We were returning home, and one of the flight attendants asked Bronx if he wanted to see the flight deck and meet Captain Andrew.
I got to sit in the driver's seat.
I grew up in an aviation family, and seeing Bronx kind of reminded me of myself when I was that age.
That's Andrew, a real United pilot.
These small interactions can shape a kid's future.
It felt like I was the captain.
Allowing my son to see the flight deck will stick with us forever.
That's how good leads the way.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel. I am super stoked for this episode, and I know I say that a lot at the beginning of our shows. I freaking love doing these shows, so no matter how many of you are out there listening, just know that listening or not, I love doing these shows. But I know for a fact that we have at least one listener out there, because today's episode was actually requested by one of our listeners on our website at notthatbadcast.com. Jessica Correa wrote in and said, you guys should do an episode on movies starring Tim Curry. And you know what? You darn right. We're going to do that episode. And here to join me, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Rocky.
It's going to be hard to kind of work around some of these films because Tim Curry has not the biggest filmography, but the movies that he is in are iconic, and all of his roles are iconic because Tim Curry has such a unique ability to take any character in any size cast, whether ensemble or small cast, and turn it into something you are going to remember. So, Carrie, going through Tim Curry's filmography, how tough was it for you to narrow it down?
The most challenging was not to go with the super obvious pick.
Mm-hmm.
I did my research and I agonized over my choices. So just know that this was a huge, it was a magnormous, that's a word?
Take it.
It was a magnormous task.
Copyright Carrie from Keep Watch Pass, yes.
But it was fun because it reminded me of, like, I did my research and and it reminded me, it was like, oh yeah. Oh, I remember that. Oh, yeah. So it was a very enjoyable assignment.
Oh, yeah. So, dear listener, Jessica Correa, thank you so much for giving us this episode. And by the way, dear listeners, if you have an episode that you want us to cover, just be cool like Jessica. Go to our website, notthatbadcast.com, and drop us a line and make a suggestion. I love to watch any movie, listen to any artist, and tackle any topic that you guys may actually throw at us. So by all means, hit us up, drop us some suggestions. We will absolutely go down that road. So we're going to pick 3 films each, a keep, a watch, and a pass. The keep is one that is as iconic as Tim Curry himself. The watch is one that, you know what, it doesn't matter. You watch Tim Curry, you know, but the watch is there. And the pass is one that's probably definitely not because of Tim Curry, but because of the movie itself. So getting to our keep pick, Jessica actually had put in her picks. So she had a tie between Clue and the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Both of them fantastic picks. Did you go with any of them?
It pained me. And yes, I completely honor and 1000% agree with Jessica's pick of Rocky Horror Picture Show. I wrote it down. I did because I couldn't not.
Mm-hmm.
But inevitably, I looked deeper into
your soul.
Yes. Yes. I looked deeper into my soul, my dark, dark soul, and into the sewer grate. No, I'm kidding. I didn't.
Is this a therapy session now?
I didn't pick Pennywise, but spoiler alert. I also didn't pick Pennywise.
Okay.
Which is another iconic freaking Tim Curry. Like, you can't see the clown or even just the red balloon without thinking of Tim Curry.
And you think about that was a made-for-TV film, right? So it still would have qualified for sure for this because it is a film. It's film length. And I know that the It remakes have done really, really well, but there's just something about what Tim Curry brought to Pennywise. But yeah, your keep pick.
I went with his role as Rooster Hannigan, Miss Hannigan's brother, who was evil and conniving and tried to adopt Miss Annie from the orphanage.
I should have guessed this one.
And oh my God, the dance number with Miss Hannigan. He was just he played it so incredibly well. Rooster, caw. Oh my God. How could I not? Now, you have to understand also, listeners, that Annie speaks to me. It holds a special place in my heart because I used to do very, very, very off-Broadway. In fact, it wasn't even like a stage play.
So off-Broadway, it's in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. But I did. I was in the musical, my local theater group musical Annie, and I just absolutely love the story. I love the songs. I love everything about it. And so, yeah, it was an obvious pick for me.
I should have guessed this one. Because I'm looking through the filmography, I'm like, Annie. Okay, Carrie's probably going to talk about that one. I should probably leave that one alone. And you know what's funny? Like, going back to Jessica's picks of Clue and Rocky Horror, like, both of those are so iconic. I love Clue. Like, you wouldn't believe. I absolutely love Clue. Rocky Horror is just, it is what it is. You know, on paper, Rocky Horror shouldn't work, but it's the soundtrack that makes it work. And
when you think about the actors, though.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And not just Tim Curry, but I mean, just
Susan freaking Sarandon as Janet, damn it.
But, oh my God.
Yeah.
He was everything. Meatloaf was fantastic.
Yeah, for the 5 minutes he was in there. Meatloaf was cooked, done, and ready to go.
Well, yeah.
So I'm going to preview here because for Jessica's watch pick, she went with her husband's favorite movie, Oscar. And it's my keep pick as well. This is absolutely one of my favorite Sylvester Stallone films of all time. It angers me that the critics had poo-pooed on this film, and we have lovingly defended this movie on It's Not That Bad. It is so long ago that we talked. It's like years ago we talked about Oscar. So I wholeheartedly agree with Jessica's husband. He has apparently fantastic taste in movies with Tim Curry. But I mean, how many times, right? You know, you're counting out things in in your budget. And it's like, here's money and here's more money. I freaking love Tim Curry in this because it's just so understated. But Stallone too. Like, really, Stallone is so earnest and funny in this, right? This is the one film that I would point to and say, anyone who says that Sylvester Stallone cannot act, I'm going to point to Oscar and say, you darn right he can. Because that movie was filmed like it was a stage play. It was an ensemble cast, right? The fact that you have Stallone's wife in it, Ornelia Muti, who of course is in Flash Gordon, like the 1980 Flash Gordon. And there are movies that I wish qualified just so we could spend an hour and gush about it, because I freaking love Flash Gordon. Rightfully so. The critics did not poo-poo on that one. It doesn't qualify. We don't get to talk about it on It's Not That Bad. So anytime I get a chance to talk about Flash Gordon on Keep Watch Pass, I'm going to take it. And Oscar is such an all across the board. There are no weak spots in that cast. It is, if you haven't watched Oscar, you are denying yourself a fun comedic romp. How dare you? How dare you not watch Oscar?
And you know what's funny? I wrote it down as well, along with Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I knew that you would pick it. So
well, you've met me, so yeah.
Yeah, by knowing that you would want to gush about that movie, I lovingly just raised my hands and stepped away. I'm like, I know it's going to be mentioned. I don't need to. But you know what? It was a good thing because I knew you were going to talk about it. So I knew that I didn't need to. So it allows me to talk about yet another movie.
For your watch pick?
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
I absolutely loved. He was probably one of my favorite things about the second Home Alone movie. His role as the hotel concierge was brilliant.
I'll give you that. In that film, he is quite good.
Yeah, your credit card has been declined.
Right?
Like,
well, you think about what's that Steve Martin film that's set in the hotel? Is it The Out of Towners or something like that?
Yes, exactly, with John Cleese.
Yes. Oh
yes.
my God. Yeah, no, Tim Curry is fantastic in Home Alone 2 and probably one of the best parts of Home Alone 2. This is where I regret to inform you that not only is this Jessica's pass pick, it's my pass pick as well.
Oh, come on, guys.
No, hear me out. Hear
Why?
me out. Not because of Tim Curry. Not because of Tim Curry. This is one of those sequels that did not need to happen.
Lost in New York.
I know, but okay, tell me at this point that Kevin's parents, first of all, are not being cited by Child Protective Services and Kevin is being taken away and put into a foster home.
Oh, no.
You're darn right he is.
Oh.
But there was something so unique and new about the first Home Alone film. And sometimes you just want a movie to stand alone. The problem is it's the same family, it's the same kid. It's just in reverse where they actually brought him on vacation, but they left him behind, and the same criminals, and it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, like what are the odds that they're going to run into each other in New York City?
Yeah, exactly. Like I can suspend a ton of disbelief on a bunch of movies. Home Alone 2, and that's the problem too. It treaded the same water over and over again. It's like watching Looney Tunes, right? There's only so many times that the Roadrunner can simultaneously piss off and almost mutilate Wile E. Coyote. There's only so many ways it can be done. Also, dear listeners, if I've learned anything from Looney Tunes over the years, because TV teaches us everything, never, ever buy anything from a company named Acme. But the thing with Home Alone 2 is that it's same thing, different city. And I just found it to be more of a cash grab than anything else. And the problem is I would still watch it. If it was on TV, I'd still watch it kind of thing. But looking at Tim Curry's filmography and the movies that I have actually watched in this filmography, Home Alone 2 is the one I've watched where I'm like, if I got to pass on one, maybe this is the one. So really, I'm passing on it because I have to pass on something. Most of Tim Curry's films are really, really ridiculously good.
Well, I think that's fair because when we get around to my pass, I know that I'm going to have to apologize to you. So
really,
I will.
I am so curious what your pass pick is now.
On to you, though.
But first, we have to get to my watch pick.
Yes.
And I'm going a little off the board off this one. I'm wondering if you took a look at his filmography and said, oh, that's going to be the one he picked. I contemplated Legend because in watching that for It's Not That Bad, I was suitably impressed with a decent Tom Cruise, like early Tom Cruise performance. Mia Sara was fantastic in it, but Tim Curry in that demon makeup as Darkness, the horns, and the pain he went through in his back because the horns were so heavy they were sticking out because everything was like actual prosthetics. Like Tim Curry suffered for that role, and it's a really good fantasy film. The director's cut. Go with the director's cut. The soundtrack is so much better. But I'm actually going with a movie based on a novel, one that I have read, and I loved the novel, but I loved the movie before I read the novel. I'm going with The Hunt for Red October. So this, of course, is based on the Tom Clancy book. This is when Tom Clancy was around and actually writing his books. This is also one of my favorite Sean Connery roles as Captain Ramius. Alec Baldwin is fantastic as Jack Ryan. This actually might be my favorite Tom Clancy adaptation as well. Tim Curry is in this as Dr. Yevgeny Petrov. But listen to this cast too. You got James Earl Jones, Peter Firth, Scott Glenn, Sam Neill. It's an ensemble cast in a very small, cramped space, that being of a submarine. This is where you can easily point to fans of Star Trek will probably like this because Star Wars, it's big, it's space opera and all that kind of stuff, right? Like the dog fights is very much almost like a World War II kind of thing. And you know, anyone who knows like the creation of Star Wars knows that George Lucas used old dogfight footage from war films in order to kind of simulate what was supposed to be in there before they actually got the X-Wings and all that. But Star Trek very much feels sometimes like submarine combat. It's very slow, it's very methodical, it's very chess, right? It isn't, an action sport like Star Wars dogfights are. Star Trek spaceship combat is very much like a chess match. And that's how The Hunt for Red October is really played out. It's tense. Like, it's tense. And you have a fantastic cast. Tim Curry, always good, but really, it's Sean Connery all the way through this one. I love The Hunt for Red October. And if you've read the book, the movie does the book justice. I know the old saying, right? The book is always better than the movie. No. When it comes to The Hunt for Red October, the book and the movie are on equal playing grounds. That's my take on The Hunt for Red October. So now, we've heard you watch, we've heard you keep, and we know that my pass is your watch. What is your pass pick? I'm so curious what your pass pick is and why you have to apologize to me.
You really don't know, do you?
No.
I am passing on an old friend of yours. A certain lasagna and pizza eating cat. Yeah, I know you're looking at me like, I am passing on Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, and Tim Curry's voice work on the cat Prince. And it's not because of Tim Curry. This movie of all of the Garfield remakes was just it wasn't my favorite. I really enjoyed the more recent one where he meets his dad, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. How could I not love that?
Well, we're going to be auditioning new co-hosts for the show over on Keep Watch Pass. So be sure to send your resumes and your demo reels. No. I'm
and
kidding.
It's been fun. That's the straw that breaks your back. Okay.
All right. We do not diss Garfield in this house. But that being said, again, if you're trying to find something to pass on, I can understand that. Because yes, the most recent Garfield film is quite good. And we still have to cover it. Like, I know this has been one of those. Dear listeners, let me give you a little background of how we run things here. Very chaotically. We have multiple notebooks with lists of movies that we have talked about. One of the very first films I wrote in a notebook when we were trying to come up with movies to cover on this show was the original live-action Garfield film with Breckin Meyer and Jennifer Love Hewitt, and we still haven't actually gotten around to it. I feel bad for neglecting Garfield at this point.
And that one I could defend.
Yeah.
I could. I actually really enjoyed the live action Garfield movies. But there was just something about this one that just, I don't know, like maybe because they tried to take it back to the animation.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes you have milked the cash cow dry.
Yeah, it fell flat. It almost felt like, I don't know, Garfield Home Alone in London.
Yeah. And as much as sometimes you need to take a character out of familiar surroundings and put them in someplace new, fish out of water kind of thing, it worked for Cars 2. It absolutely worked for Cars 2. But in all honesty, I don't disagree with passing on Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. I will just have you apologize to Garfield when we are done recording.
I just think it's funny that I spoke ill of Garfield and there's two of them staring me down in this very room in your studio. True story. I'm so sorry.
I'm a grown man with a Garfield Funko in my office, and I have zero shame. Gary, thank you so much. And Jessica Correa, thank you so much for suggesting this episode. I think it was fantastic. Thank you. And to our dear listeners, if you have an idea that you want us to cover, let us know. And we will jump on that idea and roll with it. So just to recap, so Jessica's picks, her keep was a tie between Clue and Rocky Horror Picture Show. Her watch was Oscar. Well, okay, it's her husband's pick, but that's okay. And her pass was Home Alone 2. Carrie, remind our listeners what your keep, watch, and pass picks are for movies starring Tim Curry.
I am keeping Annie, and it's okay that Jessica passed on Home Alone 2 because I'll be watching it, and apparently I'll be watching it alone because I passed on a Garfield Tale of Two Kitties movie. Sorry, Jay.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
Right.
All right, my keep is Oscar. My watch is The Hunt for Red October, and my pass is Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. Carrie, thank you so much. Jessica, thank you so much. And to you, our dear listeners, you guys know the drill. If there's a topic that you want us to cover on Keep Watch Pass or a movie that you want us to cover on It's Not That Bad, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to our webpage because we have some really good episodes coming up for 2026 when we finally get through all of the notebooks that are littered around the house with lists of movies that we want to cover. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
This is Mark Shea from the Performance Anxiety Podcast on the Pantheon Podcast Network. We've teamed up with Teen Cancer America, the charity founded by Sir Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend of The Who, to bring you the most anticipated tribute album of the past 41 years. The Majesty of Rock is 35 of the best Spinal Tap cover songs you'll ever hear. You'll hear Spinal Tap songs done by Robert Hitchcock, Alan Johannes, members of Tool, Foo Fighters, Caius, Failure, Soul Asylum, and so many more. And every dollar raised goes to help teens and young adults diagnosed with cancer. This is a limited edition of 5,000 downloads, so go to teencanceramerica.org, check out the store, buy the album, and give teens and young adults the help they need.